Happy Thursday, everybody. My name is Stacy Brioka. I am the technology therapist and Squirrel Wrangler. And I am going live this evening for Take Time Thursday. And part of the theme of Take Time Thursday is one of the 9 areas in my work-life balance formula. One of the most important things that we need to do for ourselves that we don't do, we aren't taught to do, we don't talk about, and we just don't do enough of it, is self-care. And we don't talk about it, especially before COVID. We didn't talk about it at all. And, maybe now we're hearing a little more about it with the quote unquote great resignation, and we're hearing people talk about actually taking time for themselves, time for our families, because we realized in the midst of this stuff we've all been through that we need to take time for each other. And so one of the things and that's why it's one reason that it's a vital part of the formula, but it's also a vital part of the formula is because to me, it is one of the 4 silent S's that are underneath all of our healthcare problems. Prior to COVID, and then certainly now. And one thing when we talk about self-care, when we do talk about it, many people, the first thing they think of, oh, I'm going to go take a bubble bath, or, oh, I'm going to take a spa day, or I'm going to go get my nails done, or I'm going to go shopping. And frankly, self-care is so much bigger than that. It's huge. And it's not just doing something one time for yourself. And it doesn't always count to say, oh, well, I'm going shopping with my so-and-so. Because frankly, if going shopping with that person is because they want to go shopping or because you need to go shopping for X, Y, and Z, whatever that is, then it's not really self-care. It absolutely isn't. You can rationalize it to yourself all you want, but that is not self-care. True self-care are things that you enjoy, that you take time out of your day for, time out of your week for, time out of your month for, time out of the year for, to give yourself joy, to refresh your soul, to just pay yourself back. One of my coaches fairly recently described a really cool visualization to me. And not only did it hit home at that time with what we were talking about, but it certainly hit home when it comes to self-care. So I'm going to do my best to recreate it, what she described to me, because it was just gorgeous. And if I were on a stage, I would show you. So what I want you to picture is you need a styrofoam cup, and specifically a styrofoam cup. You need a pitcher of water, and you need a bowl, and a pencil or a pen, something to poke with. So we need to picture self-care like this. You take the pitcher of water and you fill up your cup, and you just pour that water into that styrofoam cup. And what happens when the cup gets full? Well, it overflows. And so if you put the bowl under it and the water's overflowing into the bowl, the analogy is that pitcher of water is self-care and those things. The cup is you, and the bowl at the bottom is the rest of the world. So if you're pouring plenty enough into yourself, or if you've ever been on an airplane and they say put your mask on first, that's that idea. If you can't take care of the other people in that plane, maybe you have a child next to you, or an older person, or somebody you love, or just a stranger, you can't help them if you don't take care of yourself first. So she went on and described additionally. So she took the cup and she poked a hole in it, in the bottom, not in the very bottom, but towards the bottom. Actually, one towards the middle of the top. Sorry, I knew I'd mess it up somewhere, but that's okay. Um, Poked a hole in the side, and then you pour the water in again. Well, it gets up to that hole, and it starts squirting out. Well, when it squirts out, it may or may not hit the bowl at the bottom. And if it's not hitting that bowl at the bottom, your energy and yourself is not necessarily going back into the world. It's just going willy-nilly somewhere. So picture that of put some more holes in that cup. And when you go to fill you take your pitcher of water and you go to fill your cup up, the water starts going out all the sides and this and that, and it goes all willy-nilly everywhere. And you're not as much of your energy and your amazingness is going into that bowl at the bottom. There's not enough that's going into the bowl at the bottom, which is your gift to the world. And so self-care is the idea of the pouring of the water into the energy that is poured into you, but it's also making sure that cup, that your styrofoam cup, is sturdy. Now, mind you, we all have holes, right? It's just inevitable that at some point in our lives we've had things that poke sides in our styrofoam cup. But if you can figure patching that hole, if the more self-care you do, the more you can patch the holes in your styrofoam cup, so that when energy is pouring into, the energy is pouring into you, then it fills up and then it overflows back into the bowl where it's supposed to go, not out willy-nilly. So I wanted to pop on today and do just at least especially a really quick kind of lesson, piece of wisdom, pass along some wisdom that was given to me about self-care and about, just about taking care of ourselves. I see Miss Sue Zimmerman is in here. Thank you, Sue, for coming in, and thank you for giving me my first microphone in here the other day. I am not ever going to forget that. I really appreciate it. I probably am not going to actually stay on this stage, quote unquote, too long today. Chocolate Johnny's back. I hope you heard me last night talking about you, dude. I'd love to if you send me a message somewhere, I'd love to hear what you're up to. And you made my day coming in and making it again today. So I'm probably not going to stay on super long right now because it's actually my birthday. So it's my birthday. And so I'm kind of spending the evening relaxing. But here's the deal. So I'm doing my self-care. I'm spending time with self-care, and I'm going to go back to that. But I jumped on the microphone because last week when I saw that post by Chocolate Johnny about wisdom, I promised myself that I would grab the mic every single day this week, Monday through Friday, and talk about a different subject every day. And I lined out the topics that I wanted, or the themes of the day. I didn't line out the topic until I just started. When I grabbed the mic tonight, I just started going. But I lined out topics that are in my formula, and I promised myself that I would go Monday through Friday. And it didn't matter that it was my birthday. I was still going to pick up the microphone today, give you guys a little bit of gift for my birthday. And I want you to celebrate with me by doing this. I want you to celebrate by taking at least 15 minutes in the rest of your day, wherever you're at in the world. And I want you to do something that is absolutely not work. It's not for someone else. It's not necessarily money making. It's not the only thing it needs. It needs to be something that all it does is bring you pure joy, whether that's going out to your garden, whether it's watercoloring, whether it's taking a nap, whether it's um, watching funny videos, even. It doesn't matter what it is, but I want you to spend at least 15 minutes doing some self-care for yourself. But here's the rub. What I want you to do is, if you don't mind, follow me on one of my socials that you've got in the listing, or download my app. It's in the App Store, Technology Therapist. Just look up Technology Therapist. I want you to message me somehow. What was your 15 minutes of self-care you did for yourself for my birthday? So I want you to help me celebrate my birthday by doing some self-care for yourself. Now, if you're happen to be on my podcast and you're listening to this podcast and it's not actually Thursday and it's not actually the day that this was recorded, that is okay. I still want you to help me celebrate my birthday by finding something you love. And I want you to take 15 minutes. Whenever you hear that, I want you to schedule in and keep that promise to yourself, just like I did today. Schedule in the time, take 15 minutes to take care of yourself and do something that brings you joy. Now, it can be something done with another person, but be careful there, because if it's playing with my kids, I get that that is something that brings people joy. It would totally bring me joy to play with kids. But I want you to really focus this in on something that is just for you, because the playing with your kids is also for them. And it's absolutely not something that I'm not saying don't do that by any means, but I'm saying take 15 minutes, do something that is just for you. I will be back talking about more self-care exercises and more self-care ideas, things. Again, my name's Stacy Brayoka. I'm known as the Technology Therapist and Squirrel Wrangler. If you'd like to hear more about me, just listen to In Your Here in Wisdom. Or if you're anywhere near my podcast, look at the podcast, look at the recording from Sunday, where I talked about who is this technology therapist. You'll find out a little bit more about me and why they call me that. And I will see you tomorrow for Find Your Formula Friday. And I'm going to go all the way, I'm going to go over the formula itself and a little kind of at a 30,000 foot view and tell you a little bit more about that. So I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and you take me up on my challenge to help me celebrate my birthday by finding something that brings you pure joy and spend at least 15 minutes doing that in the next 24 hours. And then what I'd really like you to, after you do it, I want you to send me a message on one of my social medias or through my app in the App Store, Technology Therapist. Send me a message and tell me what you did for your self-care and maybe what you might promise yourself for your self-care for, the upcoming whatever. So I hope you have a blessed day or evening. And speaking of self-care, I'm going to go do a little bit more of it. Talk to you soon.